All right. So, welcome to our Boomer Trivia tonight. So, we're going to have this kind of came off of Mr. Mel's request last week. He technically said he wanted to do some trivia from the 1950s, but we decided we would call it Baby Boomer Trivia tonight. And so, like I put in the comment earlier, some of our folks may have a slight advantage, but hopefully everyone will be able to get a lot of these answers correct. So if you're new with us, or if this is your first time playing with us on trivia, basically what we do is we do 12 questions, and so we do it on the honor system. And so you're just keep up with how many you get right out of 12, and then at the end we'll see if we have anybody that goes 12 for 12 or who gets closest to getting all the questions right. So tonight I want to do something to start while we're waiting on a few more people to join us here. So let us do something. Let me ask you to put something in the comments or in the chat. Tell me, if you were alive, where you were when either JFK was shot, or the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded, or where you were on 9/11. So throw that down in the comments or in the chat. If you were alive at the time, where were you when JFK was shot? Where were you when the Challenger exploded, the Space Shuttle Challenger, or where were you on 9/11? If you were alive during any of those three things, let me know in the chat, in the comments. I'll start sharing some of our folks that have joined in here. We got Mr. Ray, Miss Brenda. The stakes are here. Miss Melanie. I did hear that the odds-on favorites to win tonight are the Letlows. So I hope Mr. Moe and Miss Alice are watching and participating tonight. We've got several folks on tonight. So our warm-up exercise, our pre-trivia exercise tonight, while we're waiting on a few more people to connect, is if you were alive, where were you when JFK was shot, or when the Challenger exploded, and or on 9/11? Mr. John and Miss Ann are ready. Miss Janet. Oh, I never thought about that, Miss Janet. That's good. I did not think about this being on us doing our trivia at the same time as the Wheel of Fortune. No, unfortunately, Joel, these have nothing to do with Oklahoma University. Also, my daughter told me that boomer is now considered a derogatory term or a negative term. Apparently, it means that you are out of touch if you are called a boomer. But tonight it's going to be a positive turn. Justin Fields says on 9/11 he was at the Tonk at Louisiana Tech. Hey, Miss Beth is here. We're glad you're here, Miss Beth. My mom was 5 when JFK was shot. Janet Brown says she was at the Neville High Library when she found out that John F. Kennedy was shot. Rick says he was in his crib. Miss Beth says she was in high school when Kennedy was shot. Shayna was in grade school. Wait, 9/11, I was in that grade at school. Miss Melanie was in school when JFK was shot. Rick said he was stuck in traffic in New Orleans when the shuttle exploded. Miss Melba says she was in 7th grade classroom at Chatham High School. So if you're just now joining us, we're giving people, I know we've got a couple more people joining in. So basically what we're doing is we're letting everybody share before we start with our trivia about where they were on when JFK was shot, and or when the Challenger exploded, and or 9/11. So if you were alive during any of those times. So let's see, Jennifer Bearden, she said was in junior high science class. Christy says when the Challenger exploded, she was in a school desk. 9/11, I was the director of the tutoring center and made all the college students stop what they were doing and watch live. Yes, my mom was at school for both of the shuttle, the Challenger and 9/11. Mr. Mel says I was walking down the back hall near the cafeteria at Pineville High School when I heard JFK had been shot. We had a teacher at PHS named Mr. Kennedy, and I thought he was the one who was shot. Oh, gracious. Key said when the Challenger exploded, he was at the Tech BSU. Mr. Ray says I was in school 7th grade, Wichita, Kansas, when JFK was shot. Kimberly said she was driving to high school when, Kim says she was driving to high school when 9/11 happened. Miss Melba. Keith said he was home on 9/11. Robin says, 9/11, I remember being out working in my yard. My sister called and told me to go turn on the TV and see what was happening. Sabrina said, when the Challenger exploded, I was at school. 9/11 was at the eye doctor getting my first pair of contacts. It's amazing the things you remember on these specific days. Miss Melba said she was, on 9/11, she was at work at the hospital. Rick said he was at home watching the news. Oh, Shayna was in fifth grade during 9/11. Yes, my mom was a teacher. Janet says when the Challenger exploded, she was living in Hawaii, working in a counseling clinic. Miss Brenda says, oh, let's see here. Okay, so one thing I do want to remind you about, and that is if you are playing, for me to be able to see your answers, you will have to comment in the on the original video. So if it got shared somewhere and you comment there, I'm not going to be able to see your comment. So just, I think like on Facebook and stuff, just click on the video. It'll bring it up like full screen or whatever, and then you'll know that you're commenting in the right place. If you comment on one of the shared places, I'm not going to be able to see what you comment. So in order to play along and for me to be able to see what you're doing, you'll need to make sure that you're on the correct video, all right? So make sure you're on the main video. All right, let's see. Miss Brenda, she was in fifth grade when JFK was killed. She was at work for 9/11 when the Challenger blew up. And so if you're just now connecting with us, we were giving everybody just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to get started here with our trivia. Let's see. Miss Ann Jeffcoat says 9/11, I was in Walmart and John was at the glass plant. Julie Cassidy was born on 9/11. Wow. Miss Susan, 9/11 play date with the middle baby. All right, so if you're just now connecting with us, that's basically we were just sharing here where we were when either JFK was shot, the Challenger exploded, or 9/11. Of course, I was not alive when JFK was shot, but I do remember the Challenger exploding, and I remember that we were all at Shudron Elementary watching it on TV. I remember it was a huge deal because there was a teacher who was going up in the Challenger, and so I think a lot of schools had gotten the kids together and everything to watch, and I still remember being there watching that. And then when 9/11 happened, 9/11 happened on September 11th, and our first daughter was born on August 14th. And I had literally just dropped Allison and Abby off at my in-laws who lived in Troy, Alabama at the time, and I had driven over to one of our plywood mills in Natalbany, down in Natalbany, Louisiana, and so I was there that morning, and they were in Troy, and so anyways, I remember that where we were. So, all right, I think we've got quite a few folks joined in now. So let's go ahead and get to our trivia. So tonight we are playing what we're calling Boomer Trivia. So Boomer Trivia. Most of you know, hopefully, that a baby boomer is anyone born between, I believe, 46 and 64. And so, of course, we know that the term came from all the spike in babies being born after World War II. And so that's where we go. So the U.S. dates, I believe, are 46 to 64 that count as baby boomers. So hopefully all of these trivia questions, you guys might have a slight advantage, but hopefully everyone will have an opportunity to guess the correct answer. And I think everybody's going to enjoy some of these questions and stuff that we've got planned tonight. So here we go. Let me see. Hang on. I just saw, I think somebody's still coming. Maybe in the wrong place. Yes, so like Mr. Moe and Miss Marty, see right now y'all are commenting on where I shared it to the church page. So if you'll tap on the video, like on your phone or whatever, tap on the video like where you see it, and then you can comment and stuff. And that way I'll be able to see your comments and stuff here. So Mr. Moe said he was in the lunch line at Arcadia when he heard about JFK, and then Miss Marty's letting us know that she's connected. So make sure that you're on the video. I know that can be a little confusing, and I've gone back after we've gotten done with trivia and seen a whole bunch of people were playing, but unfortunately they weren't in the right spot to be playing. So, all right, so here we go. So we are ready for our Boomer Trivia. So again, you're just keeping up with us on your own. I've got 12 questions, and so there'll be 12 multiple choice questions. You'll type in your answer in the comment or in the chat box and let me know what you think, and then at the end, we will see... Chris Christy calling out her father-in-law. I mean, her dad there, not her father-in-law, her dad. Yes, Mr. Moe. Yeah, we need you to chat in the right spot so we can see how you and Miss Alice do. We're pulling for y'all today. And so, all right, so here we go. So on to question one. Question one of our boomer trivia. Baby boomers remember school blank when they were little. So baby boomers remember school blank when they were little. Do they remember school anti-smoking courses, school shooting drills, school closures, or school atomic bomb drills? Baby boomers remember school blank when they were little. Is it A, anti-smoking courses, B, shooting drills, C, closures, or D, atomic bomb drills? So now is where you put in your answer, A, B, C, or D, in the chat box or in the comment box. Justin's first one in. He says D, atomic bomb drills. Mr. Mel says D. Keith says D. My guess is you don't have to be a baby boomer to know the answer to this one, hopefully. Shayna is thinking D. Mr. Nee says D. Jennifer says D. D seems to be the most popular answer here on our first. Yes. Yes, Rick. D. All right. Everybody seems to be thinking D, and so we'll reveal the answer. It is, yes, D, atomic bomb drills. Now, the funniest thing about this is that my understanding, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was during an atomic bomb drill, you were supposed to just get under your desk. And so I'm not sure how in the world that was going to help if there was an atomic bomb, but apparently that's what school officials thought was the best thing. So Miss Brenda says D. Yes, everybody seemed, I'm pretty sure everybody knew that one, even if you're not a baby boomer. So here we go. Question number 2. The refrigerator was called the blank. So for baby boomers growing up, the refrigerator was called the blank. Was it A, cold cabinet, B, Frigidaire, C, icebox, or D, larder? So for baby boomers growing up, the refrigerator was called the what? A, cold cabinet, B, Frigidaire, C, icebox, or D, larder? Justin, unfortunately, our broadcast tonight is being brought to you by Dr. Pepper. I forgot, didn't bring any candy, and I haven't heard anything from Wingstop yet about being our official sponsor, so I guess tonight it is being brought to you by, oh, hey, Mr. Moe, you're in the right spot. Good. And Miss Marty, yes. So we got you now. So, all right, so C seems to be the overwhelming answer here. I'm getting a lot of replies here. A lot of folks seem to think C, the icebox. Good to see you, Wesselton. Wes is almost a baby boomer, but not quite. Miss Melanie Christie, C. Ronnie, C. I think this seems to be the overwhelming answer here. And I will say that my Aunt Janae still calls it the icebox. So, yes, the refrigerator was called the C icebox. I'm pretty sure everybody got that. So, as far as I can tell, everybody so far is 2 for 2. We'll stop after the next question and get an official score update. So, here we go. Question number 3. There used to be no blank on TV. There used to be no blank on TV. Was it A, smoking, B, women, C, alcohol, or D, swearing? There used to be no blank on TV. Was it smoking, women, alcohol, or swearing? There used to be no blank on TV. I'm assuming this is like in the old days when baby boomers were growing up. There used to be no blank on TV. Smoking, women, alcohol, or swearing. Which one? Let me see your answers here. So Keith comes in first. He's guessing A, smoking. I don't think Keith's watched a lot of old TV. Mr. Moe, Miss Beth both come in with D. Christy says D. Jennifer says alcohol. Mr. Ray says D. Uh-oh. I think we're fixing to have a winner in the Matthews household. Miss Denise says D. Janet D. Ronnie D. Miss Marty D. Susan says D, swearing. Shayna says D. Robin says D. So some of you folks that come in later, I'm never sure, are you guessing because you know the answer, or are you guessing because you are going with the crowd? Mr. Mills says C. Kim says D. JT says D. Miss Brenda says D. My mom says C. Alice said 60 is time. Oh, what? I thought baby boomers would have already eaten like an hour and a half ago, Mr. Mo. I thought that y'all had already knocked out supper like at 4:30, 5 o'clock there. All right, so there used to be no what on TV. Miss Ann says Mr. John says D, and Mr. John is correct. So Denise has just taken a commanding lead in the Matthews household. Yes, it was swearing. If you've watched a lot of old TV, there was plenty of smoking, there was a lot of women, and then there was plenty of alcohol as well on a lot of the old shows. So the answer was D, swearing. Wes coming in a little bit late, but I'll accept it. So here we go. So that was question number 3. So after 3 questions, yes, you are correct, Robin. Even women did smoke a lot on those shows. My mom's blaming my dad, throwing him under the bus. She says she thought D, but that my dad said C, so she changed her answer. But no, there was alcohol, smoking, and women on TV back in the day, but there was absolutely no swearing. And yes, sure you did, Keith. I think you're just going to take your loss there. Maybe you can get back. All right, so after 3 questions, go ahead and tell me how you're doing so far. Shayna said she is 3 for 3. Miss Janet, my understanding from what I read is they didn't even bleep out swearing. Your shows didn't have swearing of any kind at all. And if they did, they wouldn't air them. That was just what I read. I was not alive during that time, so you guys may know way more than me. All right, so far we've got a lot of folks that are 3 out of 3. Oh yeah, look, we got a bunch of people that are still perfect. We got a couple that are 2 out of 3. Somehow Wes is 2 for 2. He must have come in late. We're getting a marriage spat here between Keith and Denise. All right, so here we go. So now we're on to question 4. Question 4 is, what was unique about the original Mr. Potato Head? I love this question. What was unique about the original Mr. Potato Head? A, it came with wigs made of horsehair. B, the accessories were made out of metal. C, it didn't include eyes. Or D, it used a real potato. So what was unique about the original Mr. Potato Head? A, it came with wigs made of horsehair. B, the accessories were made out of metal. C, it didn't include eyes. Or D, it used a real potato. So pretty much everybody, whether you're a baby boomer or not, you know about Mr. Potato Head. So what was unique about the original Mr. Potato Head that came out when our baby boomers were kids? Mr. Mel jumps in with D. Mr. Mo says D. Denise says A, it came with wigs made of horsehair. Mr. Ray says D. Mr. Rick says D. Christy D. Shayna D. Miss Dottie says A. Let's see, Miss Ledford says D. Susan says C. Ronnie says D. We've got, so A, C, and D have all been thrown out here on this one. So what was unique about the original Mr. Potato Head? Miss Janet says D. Justin says D. D seems to be our favorite answer, although we've had a couple A's and a couple of C's. Robin's going with A. Miss Ann is going with A. Sabrina says D. Yes, it is the guy on Toy Story. I'm packing your angry eyes just in case. Miss Brenda says she's just guessing, but she thinks D. Key says D. Miss Melba says C. JT says D. Robin is going with Mr. Mel, who she says is, he must be our baby boomer expert. Kim says C. The answer is, oh, not that. D, it used a real potato. Yes, the first Mr. Potato Head did not actually ship with a body. It shipped with just the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the different things, and you were supposed to use a real potato to put the Mr. Potato Head things on. So if you got D, you are correct, and so hopefully we've still got a few people that are 4 for 4. I think Keith and Denise are back tied now, because I think Denise missed that one and Keith got it correct, if I remember right. Again, we're on the honor system here, so hopefully you're keeping up with your score there at home. All right, so yes, the first Mr. Potato Head came with all the accessories but did not come with the potato, so you had to put it on a real potato. All right, so here we go. Question number 5. Which number takes the longest to dial on a rotary telephone? I thought this is probably the best baby boomer question that I could ask. A rotary telephone, for all that goes around like this. So which number did you have to go the furthest with all the way around the dial? Which number takes the longest to dial on a rotary phone? Is it A0, B5, C9, or D1? Rick had it, Mr. Applehead. I guess that's it. Oh, Wes is pulling for Keith to pull out the win over Miss Denise. Tiffany says it was the 0. Susan says the 0. Shayna says A0. Janet says A0. Mr. Moe says the 0. So what number takes the longest to dial on a rotary phone? It looks like pretty much everybody is going with A0. So we've got, it looks like everybody coming in with A here. JT says A, Wes says A, Miss Ledford. Miss Brenda, -1? I don't remember there being a -1 on the dial. Or maybe she means 1. Miss Marty says the 0. Sabrina, 0. So everybody pretty much went with answer A, 0. Denise is upset with you now, Wes. And so, yes, the answer is 0. The 0 did take the longest to go all the way around on a rotary phone. So you didn't like calling people that had a lot of zeros in their numbers. All right, so here we go. So that was question number 5. Now question number 6. Partly made famous by Nancy Sinatra, white boots with heels that reached just below the knee were called what? Partly made famous by Nancy Sinatra, white boots with heels that reached just below the knee were called what? Were they called thigh shower boots, disco boots, party time boots, or go-go boots? Partly made famous by Nancy Sinatra, white boots with heels that reached just below the knee were called... Oh, now Wes is he's like a politician now. He's going on both sides. Tiffany says to-go boots, but that's not one of our options. Is it A, thigh shower boots, B, disco boots, C, party time boots, or D, go-go boots? Mr. Mel says D. My mom says D. Justin says D. For all of you non-baby boomers, if you've watched Austin Powers, you should hopefully know the answer to this question. Miss Denise says 0. And then most of you have probably at least heard the Nancy Sinatra song. Boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these... Oh, probably a spelling mistake there, Tiffany. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. All right, so I think our overwhelming answer seems like everybody knows this one, the fashion of the time. We've got a lot of guesses for D. Autocorrect. Yes, Shayna, that's exactly right, yes. All right, so here we go. So the correct answer is yes, D, go-go boots. All right, so that's 6 questions. So drop real quick in the comments or in the chat. How have you done so far out of 6? I think we still have a few people that are 6 for 6. Wes would be incorrect with that statement. I will not be wearing my go-go boots. And that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Ooh, yes, Susan, good call. The green M&M does wear the go-go boots. Denise is waving to joy. All right, so here we go. We got several folks that seem to be 6 out of 6. Shayna, Justin, Jennifer says she's 5 out of 6. Mr. Ray, 6 for 6. Miss Janet, 6 for 6. My mom's 5 for 6. Blame my dad. Ronnie is 6 for 6. Stephanie, 6 for 6. So they're still tied in their house. Mr. Moe and Miss Alice are 6 for 6. We're still pulling for them to get the victory here. Mr. Mel, 5 for 6. Denise, 5 for 6. Still a tie at the Matthews house, 5 for 6. Oh, and Miss Dottie, 5 for 6. So we've got a 3-way tie at the Matthews house. Robin says she's 5 for 6. All right. So here we go. It's time to start breaking some ties here. Let's go on to question 7 now. Question 7. All right, so question 7. How much of the disposable income in the U.S. do boomers have? How much of the disposable income in the U.S. do baby boomers have right now? Talking about today. Is it A, 35%, B, 20%, C, 70%, or D, 50%? How much of the disposable income in the U.S. do baby boomers have? Is it 35%, B, 20%, C, 70%, or D, 50%? How much of the disposable income in the U.S. do baby boomers have? 35%, 20%, 70%, or 50%? Mr. Moe coming in hot with C, 70%. Miss Marty agrees. C, let's see. Shane is guessing C. Mr. Mel says C. Miss Beth says C. Ronnie says C. Odom says D. C by Christy. All right, C seems to be the popular answer of 70%. And that's just what the great. Now the Nancy Sinatra stuck in my head. All right, so most everybody popping up here with C. Miss Brenda says C, 70%. How much disposable income in the U.S. do baby boomers have? Yes, it is 70%. So that was question number 7. So yes, baby boomers spend a lot of money. That's why you see a lot of advertisements aimed at the baby boomer generation, because they got lots of money to spend and places to go and things to use it for. All right, so here we go. Question number 8. What song would television networks play to signal the end of the programming day? So, good one, Christy. So what song would television networks to play the signal of the programming day? For those of you that don't know, television used to stop for a little while during the night. So would they play A, the Armed Forces Melody, B, America the Beautiful, C, the Star Spangled Banner, or D, Goodnight Irene? And I can tell you, if you are not a baby boomer, but you've seen Toy Story 2, you should know the answer to this question as well. What song would television networks play to signal the end of the programming day? The Armed Forces Melody, America the Beautiful, the Star Spangled Banner, or Goodnight Irene? All right, we got folks coming in. C. Mr. Moe says C. Sister says C. Janet says C. Miss Ledford C. Shayna says C. Miss Welch says C. This must be an easier question than I thought. So even if you're not a baby boomer, but you've watched Toy Story 2, hopefully you remember when Al is falling asleep on his couch and they're trying to get Woody's arm back. They are playing the Star Spangled Banner on TV. I think that's when that is. Christy said, and if I was still awake, I would stand up and salute. That was actually one of the things I read, is that most people during the baby boomer generation were not awake when TV would go off the air. Oh, Charlie D, good to see you, man. He's got C. So the correct answer is, yes, C, the Star Spangled Banner. All right, so that is what they would play, and then they'd be off there for a few hours before they came back a little bit later on. So here we go. Question number 9. The Viewmaster stereoscope let children do what? The Viewmaster stereoscope let baby boomer children do what? A, look into the future. B, spy on people. C, look at 3D slides. Or D, see under clothing. So the Viewmaster stereoscope let children do what? A, look into the future. B, spy on people. C, look at 3D slides. Or D, see under clothing. I'm sure this was a popular toy by our baby boomers. Whoa, Ms. Melanie, look under the clothes. These were X-ray vision. Mr. Mel says C. Tiffany says C. Mr. Ray says C. Jennifer says C. Stephanie says C. Mr. Niece says C. Susan C. My mom C. The Viewmaster stereoscope let baby boomer children do what? Getting a lot of C's here. Charlie D going with D. He's going with his mom there. Ronnie says C. Oh, Miss Melanie has changed her answer to C. Maybe the D was for the previous question. Sabrina saying C. Miss Melba C. Miss Brenda C. Julie says C. Shayna says C. JT says C. And you can Google these after we get off here. The Viewmaster stereoscope. Let children do what? Yes, look at 3D slides. So that was what it did, the big thing. And you could look at the little slides going around there. Very cool. All right, so that was question number 9. So very quickly, we'll take a quick break and go ahead and drop your how you're doing so far. We've got 3 questions left. How many people are still 9 for 9 before we get to these last 3 questions? I don't know if these last 3 are going to separate anybody or not, but we'll see. So how many folks are still 9 for 9? While you're doing that, we'll just remind you this Sunday we're going to be having our service at 10:15. And so we'll be streaming that and everything, and so that'll be happening at 10:15. And again, we just remind you and encourage you: don't just participate with you or just your family or just you or whoever's in your house. Invite some other folks to participate with you, and so especially somebody that doesn't have their own church service that they can stream online right now. So invite them to be a part of Cooks. That'll start. We usually start the feed right at 10:05. That gives you 10 minutes to connect and be prepared. You can watch that on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our Twitter channel. So Mr. Mel is 8 for 9. Justin's still 9 for 9. Shane is 9 for 9. Mr. Ray, 9 for 9. Mr. Mo, the Let Lows, are still 9 for 9. The Steaks are also 9 for 9. Ronnie, 9 for 9. My mom, 8 for 9. Susan, 8 for 9. Miss Janet's 9 for 9. Stephanie, 9 for 9. Miss Melanie, 8 for 9. Sabrina, 9 for 9. Miss Welch, 9 for 9. Miss Ledford, 9 for 9. Robin, 8 for 9. JT's still undefeated. Keith, 8 for 9. So are Keith and Denise still tied? I believe so. They're still both 8 for 9. Miss Ann is 8 for 9. Or I guess that'd be Miss Ann and Mr. John. I think they're playing together. Julie says she's got 9 out of 9. Miss Dottie's 8 for 9. Has Denise come up yet? I hadn't seen her score yet. Are y'all still tied? Tiffany came in a little bit late. That's all right. Oh, Denise is 8 for 9. Yes, there she is. All right, so here we go. Question number 10. Last 3 questions of the night, and then we'll let y'all go. So question number 10. Who or what was Mr. Ed? Was he A, a disc jockey, B, a chatty donkey, C, a talking horse, or D, an invisible rabbit? So who or what was Mr. Ed? Was he A, a disc jockey, B, chatty donkey, C, talking horse, or D, invisible rabbit? Who or what was Mr. Ed? Give everybody a couple of seconds. Mr. Mel's in with C. My mom's in with C. Y'all are coming in quick on this one. Justin C, Miss Melanie C, Shayna C, Charlie D C, Mr. Ray C, Janet C, Ronnie C. Everybody feels confident on this one, I think. Susan said he was a horse, of course. So, yes, I'm sharing all of your answers here. I think I haven't seen anybody guess anything other than C. So at this point, even if you're not sure of the answer, I'm pretty sure you're just going along with the crowd here. Christy, a horse is a horse, of course, of course. And so she would be correct as well as all of y'all. C, talking horse. Hey, Miss Kay, how are you doing? C, talking horse. Who or what was Mr. Ed? He was a talking horse. Ah, the magic of television. Could make a horse talk. All right, here we go. Question 11. Question 11. What was considered a favorite children's street game? This is one of my favorites. What was considered a favorite children's street game? I assume this is for baby boomers when they were kids. So here we go. Was it A, kick the ball, B, kick the can, C, kick the bucket, or D, kick the cat? So what was considered a favorite children's street game? Kick the ball, kick the can, kick the bucket, or kick the cat? So during the baby boomer generation, what was a favorite children's street game? Mr. Mel says B. Mr. Mo says B. Ray says B. Y'all are coming in hot on this one too. Tiffany says B. Robin says C. Kick the bucket. Justin says B. My mom says B. Oh, okay, Mr. Mel, that's a good one. Mr. Mel just sent me in a potential tiebreaker question. Let's see. B. Jennifer Bearden says B. Kick the can. So the popular answer seems to sure, Robin. She's saying now she's changing her. She says that she accidentally hit C on accident. Miss Marty says A. I think pretty much everybody has gone with B except for a couple of exceptions. Miss Brenda went with it. Miss Marty's changing her answer now too. She says she knows it was B. Yes, it was kick the can. And so hopefully a lot of baby boomers were not playing kick the bucket, and hopefully they are not playing kick the bucket right now either. I also would have accepted D, kick the cat, because that was my favorite of those four answers. I'm sure some of y'all were playing that. Y'all just weren't telling anybody, especially PETA. All right, so here we go. Question number 12, our last question for the day. Here we go. So question 12, last question. A common mom threat if a child misspoke was getting his mouth what? So for baby boomers growing up, a common mom threat if a child misspoke was getting his mouth what? A, taped shut, B, slapped, C, washed out with soap, or D, filled with salty water? A common mom threat if a child misspoke was getting his mouth taped shut, slapped, washed out with soap, or filled with salty water. Ooh, y'all coming in big on this one too. Seems like C is a popular answer on this one. And again, in some houses, the answer may have been B. They just weren't telling anybody. Christy, now that y'all are dog people, you should be okay with kicking the cat. JT, so I'm thinking pretty much everybody here is going with C. So I think pretty much everybody has gone with C. Yes, Shayna, unfortunately, maybe. All right, so the answer to the last question. A common mom threat if a child misspoke was getting his mouth washed out with soap. Yes, C, washed out with soap. So that was the correct answer. All right, so 12. So I think we still have a few people left that are 12 for 12. So drop it down there in the comments or in the unfortunately, we at the Ambrose house are not equal opportunity animal lovers, and part of that has to do with me being allergic to cats. All right, so who all was still 12 for 12? Shayna 12 for 12. Justin says he was 12 for 12. Miss Melanie, Mr. Mel came very close. Mr. Mel's going to have to stay on and give us the answer to our tiebreaker question here. Janet and Ray were both 12 for 12. I think the Matthews ended up tied, so Wes got his wish. He pulled for both of them. The Letlows, 12 for 12, of course. They were the favorites here. Ronnie, 12 for 12. Jennifer, 11 for 12. Julie's 12 for 12. Way to go, Julie. The Stakes, 12 for 12. Miss Ledford was 12 for 12. Miss Marty, 12 for 12. Woo. Jennifer jumped on at the last second and was 1 for 1. Hey, that's still 100%, Jennifer. Good job. Oh, yes, going to get a switch out of the yard? Yes, that is never fun when you had to go get your own one. Oh, this is Faith playing. Oh, sorry, Faith. Robin was 11 for 12. She missed the potato for Mr. Potato Head. Thank you, Miss Kay. We're glad you joined in and played with us tonight. Miss Brenda. Donnie would be out there kicking cats with me. Yes. Miss Beth, is she the oldest boomer on here? She might be. I don't know. Is anybody older than Miss Beth Welch? I actually do take Claritin. That's even without cats in the house. Joel's allergic to you. He'll kick the cat with you. Good. Me, Joel, and Donnie can all three get out and kick the cat. So here's Mr. Mel's tiebreaker question. He's going to have to either send me text me the answer, or he can post it on here and I'll share it with you. So everybody that was 12 for 12, let's see if anybody can get this right. It said, what was Rustin's 2-letter telephone prefix, and what word did it stand for? So back in the old days, your telephone number started with letters. So what was Rustin's 2-letter telephone prefix, and what word did it stand for? Hey, Jennifer, Miss Beth brought up her age. She doesn't have to tell us how old she is. Mr. John says he's 75. Mr. John can tell his age. All right, so Mr. Mel's tiebreaker question again is, back in the day, what was Rustin's 2-letter telephone prefix, and what word did it stand for? Do any of our 12 for 12 people know the answer to that question? Miss Janet says she does not know. Oh, Miss Marty is not from Ruston. That's true. You would have had to have lived here. Miss Ledford says it was AL for Alpine. And Miss Ledford, you were 12 for 12, weren't you? Justin says question mark. Miss Brenda says it was way before her time. So what was Rustin's 2-letter telephone prefix, and what word did it stand for? Mr. Moe grew up in Arcadia and didn't know anybody in Ruston, apparently. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Miss Ledford is dead on. It was AL, and it stood for Alpine. And, of course, all this is according to Mr. Mel, and I believe Mr. Mel. So way to go, Miss Ledford. You have won the tiebreaker round, and so you are our official winner for our Baby Boomer Trivia this week. Oh, Todd said it was RT for Rusttown. So, hey, we're glad that you played this week. So, Miss Benice Ledford is our winner this week. She went 12 for 12, which several of you went 12 for 12. But she got our tiebreaker question, which was that it was AL and it stood for Alpine. And so, way to go, Miss Ledford. That was a strong showing there at the end. So, hey, we're glad that you played with us this week. We hope that this has been just some fun that we can have throughout the week. And so, just with everything going on right now, maybe, just maybe in the next few weeks, we'll be loosening. The governor's going to start kind of loosening up some of the stay-at-home orders and different things. And so, maybe we'll be able to start getting back to a little bit closer to normalcy and stuff. And so we just want you to know that as a staff here at Cook, we are praying for you guys, and we are here if you ever need anything. So please, you can call the church. You can just leave us a voicemail, and we'll get back with you. Those voicemails go straight to our email, so we know when we get one. And then, or you can send us an email. Again, like my emails, Jason at Cook BC, Jeff at Cook BC, Todd at Cook BC, Dion at Cook BC, Carolyn at Cook BC. If you'll email us, if you have anything that you need or anything that you'd like to share with us or whatever. And so just remember to be doing that. So, all right. Yes, it is time for supper, Mr. Moe. For us younger folks, I figure all the baby boomers have already eaten. Justin, I'm still holding out on Wingstop becoming our official sponsor, but I have not heard from them so far. So Miss Lou joined in. I'm glad you're here, Miss Lou. So anyway, so next week the plan is we'll be doing this again. Don't forget Sunday at 10:15. We hope that you'll join us for our regular worship service, and hopefully you've got a lot of stuff. Christy wants to know what you're cooking, Mr. Moe. Hopefully you'll join us for worship Sunday morning. Hopefully your Sunday school classes are meeting and keeping up with each other and everything. And so please let us know if there's anything we can do for you here as a church. And so we do appreciate y'all as well. And so we miss all of you. And so we're looking forward to the day when we get to all get back together and we get to eat food together, and we can talk about all of the times we can talk about all those questions that you missed on our trivia things each week. So, all right, so that's it. I hope that you have a great day, and we'll see y'all back. We'll see you on Sunday, and then hopefully next Thursday as well for another trivia night. So talk to y'all later. Bye.